Caution: the following program contains major spoilers about the thing that is discussed in it. Therefore, if you have not experienced the thing in question, you may not want to listen to it. Lastly, as a side note, it also contains terrible humor and adult content. Welcome to our world, motherfuckers. Hello, bastards and bitches out there in internet land. I am your host, John Christopher Wagner, and my co-host, James Michael Wagner. So hold on to your hats because your shit's about to get retarded.
You're in for a real fucking treat today, boys and girls.
Welcome to the very first ever episode of A Blast from the Past.
Yet again, another new series. How many can we pull out of our asses? The sky's the limit.
In this series, we take things that are several years older and we will discuss them. So they're things that may bring back nostalgic value that you may have forgotten about. And they, things that may give you warm fuzzy feelings like seeing hot naked chicks. So I want to hopefully bring back some really good memories for you with these things.
Or memories.
That is so lame.
And also I want to clarify that no, past does not mean distant past. It can be moderate to recent past.
Yeah, it can be anything that's at least several years old that isn't currently, since it's not new, it's not really in the public eye as much as it used to be. So we just want to resurrect some things you may have forgotten about. So, and then talk about them. So that's what this series is about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a little movie you may have heard of called Ratatouille from the animation powerhouse Pixar. It came out in 2007 and was critically acclaimed.
Although it is normally not thought of when Pixar, the studio, or the company is thought of. It's kind of like a hidden gem.
Yeah. Usually when people talk about Pixar, they usually mention films or think of films such as Toy Story. Or Cars, I guess.
Or Finding Nemo.
Yeah. So, in the mix of older films, Ratatouille kind of gets just swallowed up with all the other ones that are more, well-known or renowned.
Yes, Ratatouille gets a boot up the ass.
It gets eclipsed by Toy Story and Finding Nemo and things like that.
But we're here to give it its due.
We're here to give it the credit it deserves. Now, Ratatouille is a good movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our favorite scenes in it, go through the plot, make jokes about it and things like that. But we're also going to, and also hopefully give some background information regarding it. And hopefully we'll have some fun along the way, so there'll hopefully be different kind, there'll be a lot of variety to this podcast. So one of the first things I like about Ratatouille is that it takes place in Paris, France. Obviously everybody knows that I hope everybody knows that Paris is in France. So that makes it more distinct from other Pixar movies actually a lot of movies in general, because a lot of movies, at least that we've seen, really don't really don't take place in France or Paris or anything like that, so it makes it more of an original location. And then all the other Pixar movies don't take place in France I'm aware of, or have anything to do with France or Paris. So therefore Ratatouille is different in that regard.
So let's go right in and talk about the French.
Okay,
Just like Al Bundy.
what's interesting with Ratatouille that does take place in Paris, France, is that everybody speaks English. Some characters have French accents, some don't. But it's weird because the dominant language is English, but everybody takes place in France. And of course, they did this because it's an American movie, but it's still weird.
Certainly, Remy doesn't have a French accent.
No, he does not. None of them always do. So then, as for I guess we can start off with, actually, let's do this first. Let's start off with just some background information about the movie before I actually talk about the movie itself, because I think that'd probably be most appropriate. So anyway, that the movie is that the people who made the movie first, they had to do research and everything, so they had to learn how a kitchen works, so they had to do like internships at like a school.
Yeah, they had to do like internships at like restaurants or kitchens. It was either that or they went to like cooking school. I think you can look that up. It's one of those two things. I heard it was for like 6 years too, because they had to understand how a kitchen works and how to cook.
Yes, so all the food that's actually made in the movie, they actually made themselves.
Yeah, so they knew how, so they could properly animate it.
So it looked exactly like it would in the real world. And they also, another little anecdote is that because it's Paris, there's a lot of water in there, that they had to learn how water, work correctly and everything. So there's one scene in the movie where Linguini has to jump. He's the main character in the movie. The Gusto's son.
Alfredo Linguini,
who jumps into the river to save Remy because he knocks him in a glass bottle so he could drown. An accident. The accident into it, so he has to jump in and save him. And they had to learn how water affected the chef's costume, like how it would work. So a Pixar employee, the Shade Pate department coordinator, Keston Migdal, I don't know how to pronounce his or her last name, jumped into Pixar's swimming pool wearing a chef's uniform and apron to see which parts of the suit stuck to his body and which became translucent from water absorption. So that way, when Linguini jumped in for the movie, they knew how to animate that part.
I was not aware of that till now. So Pixar has its own swimming pool.
Yes, it does. I wonder if it has pool babes, too.
I would not expect anything less. Yes, like the women from Ratatouille.
Yeah. Because they wanted to get everything to look exactly realistic, folks.
That could come in handy if you wanted to go a little more adult.
Yes, and also for time reasons, the human characters, were designed and animated without toes.
That I did know because they wore shoes.
Yeah,
so you're not going to see their toes anyway.
I mean, the mice, you see their feet, so they had to have feet. They had to have toes.
They're dirty, dirty feet.
Yes, but with human characters is that you don't see any of their toes, so there's no reason to have them. So why animate something no one's ever going to see? The audience isn't going to see, which actually makes sense. But then that leaves the question is then, were there other body parts then that they didn't design or animate too because they're covered by clothing?
Well, yeah. I'm sure they probably didn't animate their junk because you never see any of that.
Well, actually, that's interesting because if it's only,
I do not know that for sure. This is just speculation.
If it's only toes that were not designed and animated for the characters, did they have everything else? Did the male characters have their testicles and penises, and did the female characters have vulvas and clitorises and stuff?
Like inside animation.
Yeah, like inside animation, because that would be interesting to know that.
Because those are all interior organs.
Well, clitoris isn't. It's an exterior.
See,
body.
Pixar can't explain everything.
No. So,
otherwise, the movie would be like 10 hours long.
Those are just fun little things you can think about. Because if they didn't have toes, did they not have their genitalia too? So you can ponder that one for a little while. Okay, so is there any more background information? Well, actually, the main dish in the movie that Remy makes, that was actually developed by a real chef.
Yes, it's a fancy-ass version of Ratatouille.
Yes.
I forgot the real name, but I'm sure John's probably looked it up by now.
The fancy version of the dish Ratatouille was designed by gourmet chef Thomas Keller, and it became, and later came to be known as confit bile D. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Our French is god-awful, in case you haven't realized that.
So anyway, so that was developed by a real person for the movie, and then that way they can make it look like that. So okay, so of course, because the goal was how do you make CGI food look really good and actually want the audience to eat it and everything. So that's why they had the know how the food looks in the real world, so they could properly animate it. So then gourmet chefs in the U.S. and France were both used as consultants to help them with that. And then they did attend cooking classes at the San Francisco area culinary schools. And that's where they learned the understandings of a kitchen and then sets, layouts, department, and things like that. And the sets layout department manager, Michael Warsh, a culinary academy trained professional chef before working at Pixar, helped teach and consult animators as they worked. And then he also prepared dishes used by the art shade, paint, effects, and sets modeling departments. So this is a little background information.
So this is just to show you, no matter how much work you think goes into a movie, it's always more.
Yes, because there was a lot of research done, which we were not aware of.
It's a mind-blowing amount here, listeners.
So let's get into the real thing, why everybody's here. Ha ha ha. And let's actually talk about the movie itself.
For naked hot women? No, wait, no, that's not this podcast.
Yeah, if you're looking for naked hot women, then you're in the wrong place, believe me.
Yeah, Ratatouille is not your source for that kind of stuff.
They're on that movie, we don't have them. So let's get right into the actual movie itself. The movie itself is good. It does have, even though it's 11 years old, because it came out in 2007, the animation's still pretty good looking. The water looks photorealistic.
You can gauge a movie's animation greatness by how good its water is.
The city, when they do the scale shots of the city, it's really nice looking.
The Eiffel Tower.
And everything, the lighting and everything.
Good lighting effects.
Yeah, the characters are animated well. The human characters, of course, are cartoonish looking like in most Pixar films.
Music's good.
Yeah, it's like French music, so it's like different.
There's humor, but it's not super funny.
Yeah, that's also interesting. I think it's not as funny as some of Pixar's other movies.
Also, some people say it's more about the cooking, and that's kind of exaggerated because they don't really go into detail about how to cook.
They talk about cooking a little bit, but it's not
like a instructional video.
It's not like an instructional video or something like that. Like they showed a home ec class. They just give a basic understanding of like how a kitchen and restaurant works, and like how you pair foods and things like that, and how you make them. But that's more the very basic level stuff because it's really a movie for entertainment. It's not supposed to be.
It's a good introduction.
Yes,
but you're not going to become a masterclass chef by watching Ratatouille.
Yeah, so let's start talking about some of our favorite scenes in the movie.
Well, I guess we can start with like the intricate gunplay.
Oh, the opening.
Yeah,
well, not opening scene,
it's in the beginning.
One of the beginning scenes. Yes, it's one of the best parts of the whole movie. The old lady with the badass shotgun. So what's interesting with the shotgun is when she blows up her whole house, basically trying to kill a colony of mice. What's interesting about that is the shotgun, she cocks it once.
And then after that, it becomes semi-automatic.
She doesn't ever cock it again. She just pulls the trigger and it shoots.
I was not aware there were semi-automatic shotguns.
Yes, I did not know. Plus, she gets way too many rounds out of a clip.
I believe IMDb said she fires off 11 rounds, and no shotgun can hold that many without an extended clip.
Which I highly doubt she had.
So she was not following Army of Two rules.
No, unlike Army of Two trilogy, she must have went into to get that extended, to be able to fire that many rounds from one clip. She must have went to the armory and upgraded her weapon and got an extended clip.
Well, it didn't look like an extended clip.
No, it didn't. And also, if she did do that, then she might as well got the Dragon's Breath from Army of Two Devil's Cartel so she could burn those little fuckers.
with
the
fire.
Exploding shotgun shells.
Burn them to hell.
But then she burned down her house, so maybe that was good. She didn't get the Dragon's Breath upgrade.
Well, at least she'd have something common with Arthur Spooner from King of Queens, except he used a hot plate.
Oh, yeah, to burn down his house. Also, Field Petrillo, who in the Golden Girls was blamed for burning down Shady Pines with her hot plate, which was proved to be false, I think.
So what would be better, burning your house down with a hot plate or a shotgun?
Shotgun?
Yeah, I think there's more dignity in that, but I digress.
Yeah, but she does destroy her ceiling. Because the chandelier falls.
Yeah.
So that's about the most action-packed part of the whole movie. And what's also interesting is that the mice live in her attic, or I don't think she is a one-floor house, so they live in her attic above her ceiling lamp.
Oh yeah, because the roof falls in.
Yeah, Remy, the mice colony. So which is Remy and his brother Emile.
Oatmeal.
Not Amelia Estevez.
Or Oatmeal.
No, Emile and his dad, and then the rest of the mice.
What's his dad's name?
I don't know what his name is.
You could probably look
But
it
what's
up.
weird is that I think all the mice are male.
Yeah, this was going to bring me around to another point about the mice colony. You're the Ed, and I know there's a mouse that talks that says like two.
Yes.
It says asks like a quick question or says something really short, and they might have a woman, like a female voice. It sounds like ambiguous. Yeah, it's kind of tough. But all the mice you do see, though, seem to be male.
So it's like a gay mice colony.
Yes.
There are no...
So if you listen really closely, you can hear the mice humping in the walls. Just know that they're all the same gender.
Yeah, there's no female mice that I'm aware of in the movie, which is weird.
Which just leads to more questions of why they all came from.
Yeah, how they repopulate, so it must be a gay mice colony, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, then after that, they escape and they have the cookbook and all that stuff. And then I like it when Remy gets separated, and then when he's going through that building, there are like different apartments and stuff.
Well, he goes through the pipes and on his Noah's Ark adventure.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
Yes, he does. And then after he ends up on land, he goes through the building. And they're at the different rooms or units or whatever, and there's one that's it's almost like a porno movie. It's like there's like a mime and a gun or something, and he starts macking with some chick.
No, she's like gonna shoot him, but then she shoots the ceiling.
Oh, it's not a mime. It's some other guy. It's like a gun
or something.
Yeah, then you start making out.
Yeah,
it should have been a porno movie.
Pixar can be pretty violent when it wants to be.
And the movie's rated G. I forgot to mention that. So then anyway, other classic scenes, of course, is he envisions the dead Gusto's ghost.
Yes,
because Gusto died.
He talks to the ghostly version of Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond, who played Robert.
Oh yeah, and Remy is also voiced by Spencer Olsen from King of Queens.
Olsen.
So
he's Albanian,
or you might know him as Patton Oswalt.
So for Remy, because Spencer for King of Queens was Albanian, so Remy's supposed to be Albanian in France?
In French, I guess? Sure, why not?
Because he certainly doesn't sound French.
Okay, so then eventually he does get to the restaurant, but just as a side notice for another background point we forgot to make earlier is that in France, restaurants have a maximum star rating of 3 stars, but in the movie, Gusteau's have 5 stars, and then he lost 2 and got 3. And they did that because in America
This is a theory. They speculate.
Yeah, they think they did this because in America we have 5 stars for stuff, so they changed it to 5 stars so we wouldn't get confused.
Yes.
So it really doesn't hurt, like, alter anything. It's just not.
It's just more Americanized.
Yeah, it's just not completely historically accurate because in France, restaurants can only have a maximum 3-star rating.
Like it already was totally accurate and realistic.
Yeah, with talking mice. So then, anyway, other great scenes is we all like Linguini's apartment because it's, like some.
Oh, it's bitchin'.
Yeah, it's a bitch apartment. Babes can't resist its power, just like Garth from.
Oh,
Wayne's
yeah,
World.
try to jam that bicycle in so the door can close.
Yeah, you have a soccer ball and roller skates, and you have like a TV from the 50s. Because that's also
and you
weird.
sleep on a couch.
That's also weird.
That's so hot.
I'm really confused about the time period because the TVs are all like black and white TVs for the 50s. Like the old lady in the beginning had one, Linguini had one in his apartment.
You're right. It's an alternate universe where it's the present time, yet nobody has color television.
It's really weird. It doesn't hurt anything or affect anything. I just found it to be weird.
And then he has like very few things in his fridge.
Oh yeah, he has like almost no food and everything.
He just has a couple of like Chinese takeout boxes, which makes even less sense because it's France.
So then anyway,
I don't know if they eat stuff like that. Do you think that would be like considered like
heresy?
Like lowbrow.
Sacrilege.
Because you work at a French restaurant or you live in France or Paris where you're known for your fine cuisine, and then you eat Chinese takeout.
So anyway, that Linguini then eventually does work at the restaurant.
Garbage boy.
He has a garbage boy, which Remy passively says, "Oh, he's a nobody." Like
who's run by Principal Skinner?
Yeah, from The Simpsons.
No, not Principal Skinner from The Simpsons, but his name is Skinner.
Yeah. So then,
who used to be when Gusteau ran the restaurant? He was, I think,
But Gusteau dead, bitches.
Skinner was the. How do you pronounce it? Is it Seuss or Souse?
Sous chef.
Sous chef.
It's sous chef.
I think he was the sous chef.
Second in command.
Yeah, when Gusteau was alive and he ran it.
Gusteau was the leader. But Gusteau, shed his earthly form to go to higher OT levels.
Higher OT levels. Like L. Ron Hubbard.
So Skinner took over.
So he's kind of like the Dave Miscavige.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's abusive too. So
French food. Yeah, he physically abuses people.
Yeah, he ruled over with an iron fist. So then anyway, then all the other cooks at the kitchen are a bunch of messed up. No, they're a bunch of fucked up misfits. I have no idea what their names are because they say them like once.
I can't find any place that has a picture and a name.
Yeah, we researched this and we can't find out their names. They're mentioned,
but they're pretty disposable anyway.
Yeah,
they only have a couple lines, and they're really not part of the plot.
They're mentioned once. I think each of their names is said once, but But I think Colette says them. But Colette has a French accent, so she's kind of hard to understand at times. And there's one thing another point I want to make is when they made the movie, they wanted the characters to have French accents, but they wanted to be sure that you could understand the characters with French accents, that they weren't too thick. And for the most part, they succeeded, but there are a few instances where when the characters mumble or they talk quietly and they have their French accents, that's kind of hard to understand what they're saying. And I think one of the points with that is the names, because I still don't know the names of the other chefs because they only see them once. She says it once, and I think she says them fast.
Like I said, we can look them up, but there's no picture.
All I know is there's one guy who worked for a circus. Some guy killed another person with his thumb.
Or he shoved his thumb up something.
Yeah, I don't know if he shoved his thumb up
diarrhea, cha-cha-cha.
Up the guy's ass or in his eye into his brain or whatever, but he killed him. He might be Russian, I don't know. The guy who worked for the circus, he got canned because he was fooling around with the ringleader's daughter or something.
I want to have intercourse with you.
Yeah, he was
relations.
Yeah, he was fucking the circus leader's daughter.
He was like tapping that ass.
He was tapping that sugary sweet ass. So he had to go.
He got boned.
So he had to go. He had to go into exile. So he ended up at Gusteau's restaurant as a chef. So then you have the thumb guy. You have Linguini, of course, he's due. You have Colette. You have Skinner, who's a sous chef, and there's some other guy I don't remember.
Yeah, it's
He's the one who mentions what Linguini's mom's name is, which is
Renata. I think her name's that.
Renata, who is an
Renata.
old flame of Gusteau.
I mean, you can look it up, but I think that's it. So apparently, Gusteau had a kid out of wedlock.
That's unclear. I'm not sure if
He could have,
Gusteau apparently porked somebody and got her pregnant.
because they never said they were married. They just said she was an old flame of his.
Well, like I say, since Gusteau wasn't hot, his mom must not be hot then either. So, unless she was gold digger. But anyway,
Oh yeah, the Gusteau fortune.
yeah, the Gusteau fortune. So then anyway, that those are other characters in the movie. And they're all kind of disposable, really, except for Colette, Linguini, and Remy, really. Then the whole point is that Skinner wants to, the sous chef, who's the villain in the movie,
And
wants,
now runs the restaurant.
yeah, who now runs the restaurant, wants to degrade and dilute it, where he wants to slap Gusteau's name on any piece of crap that comes along.
Yeah, like frozen burritos.
Like frozen foods, and what's funny is, like,
It's all that shit we eat.
yeah, all the stuff actually most people would eat because we can't afford the real good food. So he wants Gusteau to have like Mexican food and like corn dogs and Chinese food. You know, like stuff you like when you go to the grocery store and you see like frozen. Thank goodness it's Friday's food and Chili's food.
Well, you know, like the Chef Boyardee stuff,
Yes.
which they do talk about in the movie.
Yes.
Mention
Then
that.
they keep like Chef Boyardee where it's like lower quality.
See, you gotta understand that Skinner is not about fine cuisine. He's all about the money.
Yeah, it's all about the money. He's a whore. He basically sold his.
He's a money whore.
Yeah. So then, of course, he wants to. Then, of course, because then Linguini, then Remy, you know, dicks her out the soup and makes it better. So then everybody thinks that Linguini did it. So then they want Linguini to replicate the recipe, but since he's a garbage boy, he's not supposed to cook. So then
We're not going to go through
No.
the whole movie
No, of
scene by
course
scene,
not.
are we?
No. But then, of course, goes into another great scene when Colette is put in charge. No, Skinner puts Colette in charge of training Linguini.
Oh, yeah, I know where we're
So
getting
then
at
she
here.
goes into a speech about how this isn't mommy in the kitchen, which is absolutely hilarious. So Linguini must have been, when she must have went off her tangent, saying, Mommy never had to deal with the dinner rush and all this crap, and this is real.
She has mommy issues.
Yes, but Linguini must have been thinking the whole time, man, bitches be crazy. In the words of Sheldon Cooper, who got from the doorman in The Big Bang Theory about Amy.
Yes.
So then that's really funny. And then she shows him some of the ropes of how you cook properly, which is kind of neat because, you know, about how you don't get burned and everything and to keep your workstation clean, how to be efficient. You know, a lot of things you never really think about when it comes to cooking. Especially,
Yeah, the more, like, kind of like, more like the detail kind of stuff that
Yes.
you wouldn't think about normally.
in the way Remy then of course, you know, Linguini then figures out about Remy that he can cook, and then he lets Remy live with him in his apartment. And what's really neat is how Remy controls him. So he stands out his head and controls his body by pulling his hair.
Not his pubic hair.
We want to make it clear it's the hair on his head.
Although there was a point in the movie where Linguini did consider stuffing Remy into his pants.
Yes, that is really disturbing.
Apparently, he wanted Remy to perform some kind of service on him, or he wanted to get Colette's attention with a bigger package. Either way, it's yes, like Jackie from that 70s show.
That's the one where he's first going to go back into the restaurant and he's going to figure out how he's supposed to conceal him from the other people. So he's trying to figure out where to stick a butt.
But anyway, he pulls the hair on top of his head.
Yes, and that makes like his arms, you know, move and all that stuff, which is also very funny because does it work for everything? So when he pulls a certain part of the hair on his head, because can he control his, you know, junk and everything?
Oh, like he gets an erection.
Yeah, can he make him, you know, splooge? Because then you want to come in? Oh, can he also make?
Well, there is an opportunity for that.
Yeah. Can he also make him poop and pee on command too?
Wow, they could have made Remy a real sick bastard.
Yeah, if you want to do a porn parody of Ratatouille, there's potential for a porno parody.
You're right yourself. There's just too much material.
Yeah. So anyway, Linguini, in typical animated movie Pixar fashion, the male character has to have a love interest, and here, Linguini has a thing for Colette. So that's where Remy controlling his reproductive system could come in handy. But of course, the most he ever does is make out with Colette. But also, what's interesting is Colette drives a moped like Howard Waller's from The Big Bang Theory.
And she has pepper spray.
She
Never does put it on any of the eggs, though.
But as we all,
but we all know one squirted man, you're south of the border. Like
Homer
from The Simpsons.
Exactly. And she's pepper sprayed her purse because I think guns are illegal in France. So
I think so.
Yeah, and then with her moped, she also wears like a helmet, so she kind of looks, and she has like what does she wear, like a jacket or something?
Some kind of
onesie,
like a jumpsuit. It's like
it's not a biker jacket.
Some kind of like a leotard or something.
Anyway, she kind of looks like Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Yeah, except it's black and not like yellow with like black stripes.
But no, she does not have a samurai sword and viciously and violently kills legions of people.
Or mice in the mice colony.
Yes. Though she is pretty handy with knives in the kitchen, so she seems like she could be a great assassin.
The French version of Beatrix Kiddo.
She seems to have the attitude and the skills. So that's another possibility.
More food for thought.
Outside of the Puno parody. Do a Kill Bill parody with Colette, Pixar, wink wink.
Yeah, so it'd be what? I'm going to say Kill Skinner?
Yes. Kill Skinner, yeah. Kill Skinner Volume 1 and Kill Skinner Volume 2. Yeah, so then, of course, we have to get to the other primary character in the movie, which is Anton Ego, the food critic.
Played by Peter O'Toole from Lawrence Arabia, who has now shed his earthly form to go explore higher OT levels.
We'll have a moment of silence for him.
In real life, he has done that.
Okay, moment of silence. Okay, that's enough. So, anyway, he's the one who knocked off 2 stars for Gusteau's restaurant. One, he went there, he didn't like the food. He took a star off, compared him to Chef Boyardee. Then after Gusteau, he got so upset about it, he died. And then
No, he didn't die. Remember? We're Scientologists.
Oh yeah, he shed higher OT form. And
no, we're not really Scientologists.
Then due to customary French tradition, after Gusteau, the founder and head chef of the restaurant, died, they took off another star for some reason.
Also, I want to talk about the Chef Boyardee part because when Anton Ego talks about that in his review, it's supposed to be like an insult. Because Chef Boyardee has all the pasta in a can and stuff. Like, he sold out, blah, blah, blah. And he's just trying to make money because he has canned foods or whatever. And before that, apparently he was a world-class chef.
Yeah.
Like circa 1950.
Well, first of all, we thought he was fake and he was just a name in a picture for the food. We know he was a real person.
Not only was he real, but he kicked some fucking ass.
Yeah, I know.
Culinary world.
We didn't know Chef Boyardee was a real chef until a few years ago. We just thought he was a fictional mascot.
No, more like a few days ago.
Now, for the record, we've ate a lot of Chef Boyardee's canned food, and they're all good. They're okay.
Except the mac and cheese.
The only thing that really sucks is the macaroni and cheese. It is way too salty.
I think it's discontinued. We haven't seen it in years, but it sucked.
Anyway, if you see it in the store near you go to, stay away from it. Avoid it like the plague. Everything else is okay.
Unless you're into sadomasochism.
Yeah. If you want good macaroni and cheese, go with the box stuff, not with the powder like Kraft. And the store brands, don't go with the cheese sauce. With the cheese sauce. They have tasteful chemicals and it's fake. It has to be powdered.
That's our opinion.
Yeah,
or you can go to many fine restaurants
or make it yourself. So in our words, the only macaroni and cheese you should go with, in our opinion, is anything that comes with powder in a box. So then we also all the Gusteau cardboard cutouts they have. It's racist because there's one word for burritos. It's Mexican.
Oh yeah, he's
it's Chinese. He's Chinese.
Yes, like, oh, I'm a chakam.
Yeah, and then he has like yeah, those are the ones I remember. But anyway, then Anton Ego's a good character, and he was also designed to look like a vulture.
Yeah, kind of. He does.
He does kind of look like a vulture, and he's like super hardcore. And he's like, ugh, I'm gonna fuck shit up. Yeah, he's one, much like Krampus. Anton Ego is one badass motherfucker. And I want to make that clear.
You cross his path, he will take you down.
He will fuck your shit up. And you could take that to the spank bank. So
no.
Okay. You could take that to the bank.
Yes.
Much better. So then let's see what other when Remy we forgot to mention that when Remy and Emile get hit by lightning and they create on the old lady's house at the beginning, and then they create a new flavor called lightning.
Yes, and they go back to her house all of a sudden.
They froze because they were like all like
well, their fur was all puffed out and stuff.
Like
and when they go back to her house, their fur's like back to the way it was again, where they're not all clean, staticky.
So
without any explanation.
No, most cartoons are like that. And then anyway, then I like it when Remy like tries to give Emile, he makes him try to cheese with the fruit, and they're like flashing colors and lights and stuff.
And then when he first
fruit, and
then when he first finds
cheese,
when Remy first runs into Emile, and he thinks he's dead, and that's the one where he has his knife and he's gonna go butcher him because he thinks he's like an intruder or something. He has all this food that I think Linguini gave him, and then Emile wants some food because he's hungry, because he's always hungry. I think it's Remy, it's not
Lemmy Killmeister from Motorhead.
Remy Killmeister. Or Remy Winks.
or Remington Steele. Remington Steele.
No, but Remy takes him back into the restaurant when he could have given him some of the food he already had outside.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's just an error.
It's not really an error, it's just weird.
Yeah, and another great mishap is when Skinner kidnaps
Remy, throws him in the trunk of his car so he can create a whole new line of frozen food so he can rule the world.
Yeah, he wants to force Remy to help him make his frozen food thingies.
And then his family rescues him out of the trunk, and when he goes back...
He's across the street from the restaurant.
He's like across the street.
It's daytime.
He puts him in the trunk, it's daytime.
Yeah, daytime.
But then when he goes back to the restaurant, it's night. So it's like, how long did it take him to cross the street?
It took him like 12 hours.
Why did Remy cross the street? To get to the restaurant, but very slowly.
Yeah, so that's just another weird thing that doesn't really affect any, like, the plot or story or anything. Then I like the one, then it's...
then another part that's weird is when, I think this is when Anton Ego tells Linguini that he's going to come to the restaurant and he's going to then do a review on it. Linguini gets mad at Remy and, like, throws him outside. Yeah. And he says he has to get ready for like Anton Ego because he's like coming soon.
Yeah,
and
he has to prepare for
him. And then Remy leaves, and then he comes back like after it closes the restaurant. So we're trying to figure out how Linguini was able to cook.
Yeah, because Remy was absent.
He was AWOL.
Yeah, he was AWOL. And also as a side note, Linguini called Remy Little Chef. And that can also be slang for his penis as well, Linguini could call his penis Little Chef. Yeah, because
he keeps telling people, because he shows everybody his Little Chef.
Yeah, Colette likes that. He calls it his Little Chef. But what's funny is Little Chef actually Remy could become a rapper called Lil Chef, like Lil Wayne or Lil Jon.
Lil Kim.
Lil Kim, with Lil apostrophe. And he could have the chef's hat. It could be backwards.
He could rap about French food.
Yeah.
Then he could have the mice cow and be backup dancers.
Yeah. Like this is crew. Or entourage or posse. Actually, a chef's hat couldn't be backwards.
How would you know?
It's the same direction.
It's like symmetrical or whatever.
So that's what he does. That Linguini keeps Remy under his big paper chef's hat. So then anyway, they find out, that Linguini's Gusto's love child or some shit. So then,
another fun fact is when they do DNA testing on
Gusto's hat.
Yes, there's a hair
from his
in
office. Yeah,
that I think it's Skinner's attorney
yes,
or his lawyer that they'll take him to the lab. Apparently, DNA isn't in hair; it's in hair roots. Because it just has a piece of hair, but doesn't have like the root.
Really, I did not know that.
I think that's what IMDb, which is Internet Movie Database, said. That you only have DNA like in the root of the hair, not the piece of hair.
So Pixar fucked up.
Yeah, because I think it's just the hair, there's no root on it. I guess that's what it says.
Because he said it came back as rat DNA.
Yes.
Now that always confused me. So that means that Gusto sucked too as a cook, and he had a rat controlling him.
No, I thought Remy went into his hat.
They never show that.
Yes, but it said there was rat hair.
Because he thought it was Gusto's hair, so they could see if, and then that would.
Well, did they ever take any hair from Linguini or DNA from him?
I think Skinner tried to get hair from him, so they could.
Because you need it to compare.
I think what Skinner's attorney wanted to do is he wanted to get hair from Gusto, so he took that hair from his hat that he keeps like in a glass box in his office. That's now Skinner's office.
Or at least it's either that or jerk him off.
Yeah, jerk him off, and then Skinner
Dutch windmill.
Then Skinner had to get a DNA sample from Linguini, and then of course that means jerking him off and getting splooge or getting hair from him, and I think he gets hair from him, and in that way they would cross-reference the hair from Gusto's hat with the hair from Linguini to see if they match, to see if they're related. But it turns out that the hair, though, in Gusto's hat is rat hair, but that's it. He just says it's rat hair, and they don't explain whose hair it is.
Isn't there that letter that Linguini's mom wrote to Skinner or something?
Yeah,
saying
it was a pink envelope. Or something.
Like Linguini was Gusto's son or something.
But it never shows Remy, though, going to Gusto's hat, so I don't understand what that.
Apparently, as a hat fetish, we're not aware of.
Because I thought it might have been the same thing where Gusto was controlled by a rat, like a puppet master too, like Linguini from a different rat. But it's never really.
So we have a whole generation of families who are world-class chefs built on fraud because they have mice controlled them.
We have another Conspiracy Corner episode. Was Gusto really
the line of chefs?
Was he really a world-class chef, or was he just a mindless puppet like his son Linguini?
So that means Remy's dad could have controlled Gusto. It's a family affair.
The conspiracy theory gets better. So stay tuned for another Conspiracy Corner episode where we may actually go into greater detail about this. So then, anyway, where were we? Skinner and the hat. Okay, so then they go on a elaborate chase sequence where Skinner tries to get rid of. He reads the letter from Linguini's mom. So then Remy takes it, and then they go on the moped thing. Skinner falls down the stairs with the moped. He doesn't die. Yada yada yada. The
moped doesn't explode.
It's like a video game or an action movie. But then anyway, though, then they have the thing where everybody thinks Linguini's great, and this brings up another point is that in the beginning, Remy didn't want to tell anybody that the mouse was cooking because
if people found out, what they would do to him.
Yeah.
But then later on at the press conference when Linguini tells the press,
he's talking to the reporters.
Yeah, he's telling the reporters like he always knew like a part of him that he was Gusto's son, and he just could cook like he like taught himself or whatever, like he just could. And he doesn't tell them that Remy's the one who was cooking or doing all the work. Remy was getting mad. Because he wanted Linguini to spill the beans.
I mean, there's not really an error, but you could make the logical argument and say at first Remy didn't want to tell anybody because nobody wants a rat cooking in the kitchen. But then what happened, Linguini became such a jerk and so full of himself that Remy wanted to get some of the credit because Linguini wasn't the actual cook and he was getting credit when he didn't deserve it. And then Remy should have been getting it, so that you can make that argument
so then
that he changed his mind.
And then he hits himself in the head with a frying pan. But I think,
did he die? No, do it again to make sure.
But I think there was a mistake there because Remy pulls on the wrong part of hair. Like it should have moved his other arm or something. Like they got it backwards. Yeah. I think that's what IMDb said.
Then there's a scene where Colette and Linguini make out like on her moped because
Moped makeout.
Moped makeout, like make out mountain, make out moped. That's the one where Remy, I think, controls him and makes him make out with her.
I wonder if they did other things too.
I don't know.
Did he kiss her with anything else?
That's a good question. I don't know. So, and eventually Anton Ego then has to be at the restaurant because the plot dictates, since he's kind of like the Skinner and him are both kind of like the primary villains that picks up. Anton Ego's kind of like a villain.
Kind of like, yeah.
It's kind of weird. There's like two villains in the movie in a way.
Yeah.
So then Anton Ego, who wants to review the movie, the restaurant he doesn't like, he thinks it's bad, so he wants to bring it down a notch. And then Skinner, who wants to keep the restaurant in his name and not have Linguini get the restaurant because he's related to Gusto.
Well, at some point they get rid of Skinner. Oh, yeah. That's, I think, when they find out that Linguini's Gusto's son and he gets the restaurant, so they kick Skinner out on his dead ass.
Yeah.
And then he gets all pissed off and shit.
Yeah. Then there's a health inspector.
The BDSM. Where they tie him up and throw him in the freezer.
Oh, yeah, in the fridge because they like that. But anyway, I want to make a quick reference where they show Linguini doing like non-cookie stuff where there's one where him and Colette are roller skating around like a corner and the whole scene lasts like 10 seconds maybe at most.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that the roller skates are like roller skates from the 50s. They're not even like in blades.
I think there's a mime in the background.
Yeah, there's a mime in the background. So apparently that mime school was not destroyed by the police force and police academy. Nope. I think that was the movie where he wanted them to destroy the mime academy. So
which one was that?
I don't remember which one. But
how do you know that?
It's just I don't know. I just remember it because it was funny. So there's one where they go around a corner and then like Colette like trips or something. We picks her up, but I think he might have touched one of her titties. I don't know if she
does like the splits or something. It's very sexually suggestive.
Yeah, and he cups a feel of her.
Don't tear that clit now.
Yeah, he like picks her up or something, and he might touch one of her boobs. I don't know, but it's just weird because the scene lasts like 10 seconds, and Skinner's already in a newspaper.
So
and then what's funny is Skinner, when he goes into hiding, he wears a trench coat, so he's like a flasher.
Oh, Skinner, yeah.
He has like a fedora and sunglasses.
So anyway, Anton eats at the restaurant. And then he wants to see the cook, so they have to
show it, of course.
Tell him about Remy and stuff. He writes his review, and they get into some philosophical bullshit.
Yeah, then they show, for one brief scene, they show Colette where she lives, her apartment, and they just show her slide in her bed.
I think her bed sheets were
purple.
Blanket were purple.
And they had like white, like or silver trees on them or something. Some weird design that's all you see.
I wish they explored that more.
I wish they would have explored Colette's apartment more.
And then of course all the other chefs are gone because when they talk about Remy, they all got mad and left because they thought it was a joke except Colette. Well, she left, but then she decided to come back.
But because she had an epiphany, on her Beatrice Kiddo moped with her helmet, she stopped at a stoplight.
She changes lanes during the scene where first she's like in one lane, but then she's kind of like in the middle of two lanes, like in the next scene.
Okay.
Like she moves.
Yeah. She then, through a store window, she sees Gusto's cooking book when she stopped at the stoplight that says anyone can cook. And then she realizes that she should go back because maybe Linguini isn't a psychopath after all. And he isn't fucking crazy.
Yeah, so anyway then...
So then, of course, Linguini has no cookie skills, so he has been delegated to a waiter.
On roller skates.
Yes.
Because apparently he's a bellhop from the 1950s drive-in.
Yep. So then Remy...
And he's a female.
And then Remy gets his whole gay mice colony to help cook. And then Colette helps
And they had, like... what were the team names again with the mice?
Bravo.
Yeah, they had like Bravo.
Bravo had to go get the health inspector and tie him up so they could rape him.
There was like Alpha and Bravo, like raped. Yeah.
They get Alpha and Bravo from the Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel, to get the health inspector and Skinner.
They have to go on a mission to capture them.
Yeah. So then, anyway, they have to figure out what dish to serve Anton Ego. So then, Remy decides to do Ratatouille, and then
this is the best part.
Then the greatest line of all time. Colette says, like, Ratatouille, that's a peasant dish. Wow, how liberal elitist of you.
What a bitch. What a bitch.
I mean, that is so liberal, such a liberal, elitist attitude because she's seen like.
Well, she's like a feminazi anyway.
It's just like poor people food, and she criticizes it.
Well, at one point she gets all sexist and shit, and she's whining about how all the men in the kitchen are out to stop her.
Yeah.
So she has to work like really, really hard because most of the people who work in restaurants are men. She's like the only woman.
This also brings another point where Remy wants to change Gusteau's recipes throughout the movie as they're cooking, and Colette doesn't want. Of course, Colette doesn't know Remy exists.
And Colette's a recipe Nazi.
Yeah,
she will follow the recipe or die.
She thinks Linguini's doing this on his own, and she doesn't know that Remy exists or is controlling him. So she says, and then Linguini says, but Gusteau, though, was creative, and he made recipes. And she said, yes, so it's his job to create new things, but it's our job to follow his recipes. So you can't deviate from the form, like the scar symmetry saw. You can't deviate from his recipes. So this brings us back to L. Ron Hubbard, where Gusteau creates the policy, but everybody has to follow them, and only he can change his recipes or his policy. And once he shed his mortal form to explore higher OT levels, therefore, no other buddy in the restaurant or the universe, for that matter, is authorized to change his recipes. Just like how nobody else is authorized to change L. Ron Hubbard's policy.
And if you do, the consequences will be dire.
So only Gusteau could change his recipes, but once he died, that was it. They're set in stone now. No, explore higher OT levels.
Yeah.
So now they're all set in stone, and every other cook or chef in the restaurant must pound the table and follow them to the T until the end of time. And they cannot deviate them. But Remy says, but Remy, the mouse, says, fuck this shit. I am going to change this, and by deviating from Gusteau's recipes and changing them, he makes them better, and then that's what gets more people to the restaurant.
He puts his own spin on it, his own twist.
And then then Colette finally realizes, maybe we should start digging around with the recipes and altering them.
So anyway, after Anton eats there and everything, they let the health inspector and Cinder go, and of course then they have to get shut down because there's rats in the kitchen.
Yeah.
This leads to another good point, is we're going to get all government shit on you now, but with the notice that they put on the restaurant, it was closed because of health problems or concerns. It says that this is from the health department of France or something. But I believe, according to Internet Movie Database, is that this is like a municipal thing, a municipality.
Food.
It's like a city thing. It would say this is from the health department of
Paris.
Of Paris. That's what it should say.
Yeah, health inspection.
Because Paris is in France, so you don't need France.
Health inspection stuff of restaurants, I believe, are local things, not national or federal. So the federal government should not be meddling in a restaurant's health inspection.
Yeah, so it shouldn't say
from
France. It should say Paris, and everybody knows where Paris is.
Yeah, everybody should know Paris is in France.
So apparently the people at Ratatouille didn't know their governmental techniques.
After Linguini becomes a new owner of the restaurant, he moves into a super badass apartment where he can bring the Bing's bitches.
Yes, where he can tap Colette.
Yes.
Some more. In the privacy of his own mansion.
That sugary sweet ass. And then, of course, Remy gets a little bed next to it's weird, it's like the staircase goes
It's like
up.
an alcove thing with a window. And then you can see them.
The staircase goes up, then there's a flat part, then it continues going up, so it's like a 2-story apartment. And then there's a window with an alcove, and then Remy has a little bed in front of the window, so and it's directly pointing at Eiffel Tower.
Yes, because Remy's really into big pointy things.
Yes. So,
and then of course Anton loses his job.
Yeah, he loses his integrity
because he loves the food, and he talks about Remy in his article.
After he tells him that Remy is the
So then they open their new restaurant since Gusteau's is closed, and the new restaurant is, I think, called Ratatouille. I think, and it's him, Colette, and Remy.
Then the entire gay vice colony lives in the restaurant
in their own little scene area in the rafters,
and they all live happily ever after. And then, of course, throughout the whole movie, Remy's dad does not like Remy being able to read. So apparently Remy must be like a slave where he was not allowed to learn.
And this brings a whole new meaning to Wine 'em, Dine 'em, 69 'em.
He does not like the idea that Remy can read and that Remy hangs out with humans and Remy goes to people's houses.
And then he walks on 2 feet. He's like bipedal.
Yes, he walks like a human because according to his dad, he's a rat. He has to eat garbage, and then that he can't read and he should be afraid of humans because they kill rats and that he shouldn't do anything with them. But then, of course, his dad has a change of heart, and then the entire gay mouse colony lives with him in his new restaurant where they hang out with the humans. Everybody's
and
okay.
then Remy puts a special sauce on Ratatouille, which he serves. Is then served to Anton Ego by like Linguini.
Yeah, Remy should have been like Seymour from Futurama, where
he's swimming in the soup,
so and then he can pee and they can overflow.
Yes, and then he can say, and then Linguini can say he can do two things.
Then he can do two things at once. Then what they should have done, and then for Ratatouille, the Ratatouille dish, then the reason why that's important is because when they serve Anton the Ego the dish, they give him the Ratatouille dish, and Remy must have been a mind reader or whatever, because when they give it to him, Anton Ego has that flashback, with the raccoon from America Dad, remember, with Francine,
yes,
where it takes it back to when he was a kid, because apparently he was a kid, he was poor, so he only ate ratatouille his mom made for him when he broke his bike.
He ate the peasant version.
Yeah, because he comes home and his bike's all fucked up and shit.
So what, he's like one generation from white trash? Like when Hannibal Lecter was telling Clarice...
they live in the ghetto.
Hannibal Lecter was telling Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That she's poor, like trying to get inside her head. So you can draw all kinds of parallels here.
When he comes home with his bike all fucked up and shit or whatever, he fell off it or whatever, his mom makes him ratatouille, kind of like how we would make macaroni and cheese for a kid.
Oh, so it's like Roseanne when her mother, every time Roseanne was upset, Roseanne's mother would substitute love with food.
Like ice cream and stuff.
Yeah, instead of talking to her and trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, or macaroni and cheese.
So Anton Ego's mom, instead of being the deadbeat mom she was, just made him food instead of trying to help him in other ways.
So it brought back fuzzy war memories, so that's why he liked it. So whether Remy knew that this would happen or not is left up to debate. So then that's why he really likes the food, and plus it tastes really, really good too.
Yeah.
And then Colette teaches us how you know when bread is good.
No, if you're going to take away one lesson from this movie, I don't give a fuck what you think the most important thing is because it's wrong. The only real lesson you need to take away from this movie is how to tell if bread is good or not.
Yes, that is the most important lesson. And what is that?
It's not you like squeeze the bread so it crackles, and then if it crackles, then you'll know if it's good.
You want the point of bread, well, at least the loaf kind. I'm not talking about Wonder Bread or things like in the store, but ones with a crustier outside.
Yeah, like homemade.
You want the outside to be crustier, but the inside to be moist, but it's not dried out.
Yeah, so you'll know it's ready. Yeah.
When you break the bread open, then you can hear the outside crack.
And of course, she does it in the movie, and Remy gets an orgasm.
It's like orgasmic, you blow your load right there.
It's a crinkly bread.
Yes, the bread looks amazing. It looks so good in that movie.
And then I like how Remy drinks the grapes, little glasses of wine.
But also, other than that, there are good lessons and values in the movie with Gusto, when he talks about how don't let anybody define your abilities because of where you come from, and that the sky's the limit, and the only limits is your own soul or something.
Yeah, some philosophical
shit.
But
then he also talked about a good cook can come from anybody, and then
anybody can be a good cook.
And then Anton Ego, then in his review after he eats his ratatouille and writes it and puts in the paper, he explains what that is, and he said he originally thought it meant is that anybody can be a good cook. So that's why he always thought that Gusto's saying was retarded, because
it's like saying everybody can cook, but that's not
then
true.
He said it wasn't until after he ate at the restaurant and tried Remy's dish what Gusto really meant by that saying. And what the saying really meant was that it doesn't mean anybody can be a good chef. It means a good chef can come from anybody. So that's where he learned that Remy was a good chef, because a good chef can come from anybody.
So
in this case, it came from a mouse.
What he was saying is that it's just not certain people can be good cooks. You can be a lonely, pathetic rat, or or a person
or
can,
a hot porn star
or
type of
can
person.
be a cook.
Yeah. So then of course in typical Pixar fashion, as like follow your dreams, never give up, all that yada yada bullshit.
Yeah, good kids stuff.
Feel good bullshit.
Feel good fluffy stuff.
So anyway, though, then they get the restaurant Ratatouille, and the mice live there, and then you have the ambiguous gender mouse who says 2 lines of dialogue. We have no idea if it's a male or female. So, because up to this point, they've all been male.
And apparently, the big rat that they hang out with, who's bigger than everybody else, it says he likes to show he likes to show off his muscles to like the kids, the younger rats.
Okay, so
which sounds very bad now.
He sounds like
because at the end of the movie he's like flexing.
And what makes it worse is that there are no female mice, so it's like he's not a pedophile, but it's like
pedophile.
He's like heading in that direction, maybe. Then one last thing is that because Remy has a really good sense of smell, his dad then gives him the job of making sure all the garbage at the colony eats is safe and it's not laced with poison. And then Remy doesn't like it because it's boring and stupid.
Can he smell other wonderful things?
Like if something smells like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
Yeah, something useful.
Oh, can he smell sex and candy? From Marcy Playground. He probably can.
Yeah, Remy, we need you to smell the sex and candy.
Oh, that's great. Is there anything else? So, in conclusion, we highly recommend this movie. It's really fun. You'll learn some stuff like how bread's supposed to be. You'll learn what a sous chef is.
The different positions.
You'll learn that frozen food is the lowest form of food.
And that Ratatouille is a peasant dish.
Yes, Ratatouille is a peasant dish from the liberally elitist Colette. And that Paris is a good-looking city and it has lots of water.
And that you can control people like puppets by grabbing their hair and pulling it.
Yeah, so apparently Lemmy and Linguini like it rough.
Kids, do not try this at home.
So yeah, it's older movie from 2007, but again, the animation is still very good looking for the most part. Good music.
It's an under-the-radar flick.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of Pixar's best known flicks.
I mean, it's critically acclaimed. Like across the board, it did well. It's just not the kind of movie you think of when you think of Pixar, like we just talked about.
All the voice acting is good. Patton Oswalt's good. Spencer Olsen's good. Robert Barone is good.
All the other people.
Peter O'Toole.
Yeah.
Everybody's fine. I don't know who plays Colette.
Maybe we'll see him again when he comes back if there's going to be a sequel. Who knows?
I'd like to see a sequel.
If there is a sequel. I don't know. We just think that there could be one, and hey, it's a good movie. I think they have a sequel.
Yeah, so we definitely go and check it out. You'll have a lot of fun with it, and you can because when we watched it in the Magnova, we were cheap bastards, so we watched it on TV. We first watched it with commercials.
Freeform.
It was played on, I think it's like the Family Channel, and then we watched it on demand on Freeform when ABC Family became Freeform. And then that had commercials too. So we watched it on TV, but of course it's G, so nothing gets edited.
Oh yeah, also one other thing I want to mention is they swear in the movie.
Oh yeah, this
might not seem like much, but it's a big deal.
This is the only Pixar movie we can think of where they do something like this. That when Linguini first after he comes in, he's garbage boy,
he gets his job at the restaurant.
Skinner decides to let him actually cook. I think because he made the soup that Remy really made. He's then Skinner.
See, at some point in the movie,
when you're finally going to let Linguini cook, Skinner tells him when he first goes into the kitchen, "Welcome to hell." That is the first time I've ever heard a curse word used in a G-rated movie.
And damn, is that scary?
And damn is that badass. Motherfucking God.
The chills the chills just fly up your spine when you hear
how
that.
Pixar got away with that, I have no idea. How they got past the censors of the MPAA, but
it's motherfucking Pixar. They can do whatever they want.
Damn right, bitches. So, in conclusion, check out Ratatouille. It's a kick-ass movie.
And if you like this video, Remember to leave comments in the comments section below.
Leave comments in the comments section, bitches.
And if you like our channel, please subscribe to the channel. And also remember to like this video too.
Yep.
So,
and check out our other various videos as well.
Yes, on our channel and the trailer. So I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Liking the video, leaving comments in the comments section below, and subscribing to the channel, and share the videos too.
Yep. Okay, I think that's all.
So on that note, this is James Michael Wagner and
John Christopher Wagner
signing out. So remember to always forge on.
Forge on.